right, welcome y'all. This is our first episode, the city versus the country. I'm your host, Eric, and we also have
Ebony, Maya.
So we want to welcome y'all, and we're going to talk about the city versus the country. What is the hype? Is there actual hype? Is there an actual difference between the city and the country? So currently, we all have lived in the city and the country. Tell me, how do you like living in the country?
You go first. I think it's nice. I think it's very peaceful to be in the country. The atmosphere is really nice. You're in the nature. You feel a little bit more like connected to everything. You're able to hear more clearly. Your thoughts are clear. So I prefer it.
You prefer it?
Yeah.
Why do you prefer it?
Because I feel like the cities can be really loud. It can be really fast-paced and hectic. Yeah.
Some people seem like they like the fast pace. I think when you're very young, a lot of people, they like the fast pace, living in the city, because the city has the nightlife versus, when you're in the country, it's more peaceful, more quiet. So sometimes I think it depends on like your age and what you enjoy. But I think a lot of this generation, they love the fast life, living in the city. But I also think both of them have its pros and its cons. And since like you grew up in the country your whole life, what do you think is like the pros and the cons of living in the country?
I would say definitely the fact that to get anywhere you have to drive in the country. So that can be a con for sure, that you have to go at least 10 minutes to get to just like do anything. I think that the pro of the city is like not having to have a vehicle. Everything is right there. It's easy access. You can get there. But then you have to think about things like parking, and then there's always people everywhere.
True.
And longer waits for stuff.
That's true.
Stand in line, so it can be a little bit more like
even getting an appointment at a DMV.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, traffic. That you got to deal with when you're in the city versus the country. A little bit more relaxing, peaceful. Go on the water.
Yeah, I agree. I currently live in the country and in Dallas, but one thing about Dallas is it's very populated. Everybody knows about the traffic. Those who are listening, they know about Dallas and they know about the traffic. If something is like 30 minutes away, it's gonna take at least a good maybe 50 minutes just based off, the traffic. When you're living out here in the country, you don't really have to deal with that too much. You can go to the store, get what you need to get, and then you can make it home. How did you like that?
I don't know.
Just being able to transition from living in the city, or living in the country, and then living in the city.
I feel like it was a hard transition just because the country is a lot slower. Everything moves at a pace that's a little bit more comfortable and peaceful versus the city. Everyone's moving very quickly. So it's an adjustment of like being so overstimulated, so overwhelmed, like so much happening all the time. But I think it's fun too because country can be a little boring. There's only so much that you can do. Versus you get to the city and there's things you've never even heard of.
Hold on, but what about like four-wheeling? Some people like to ride four-wheelers and dirt bikes. We can't forget about that.
Right,
those who are from the country, those who are going to be listening, riding four-wheelers and dirt bikes is fun.
Yeah, but you only can do that so many times,
I agree.
versus trying new things like painting and arcades and
City, you always have something to do, no matter what.
That's true. You definitely do have like the arcades. Everybody knows about like Dave and Buster's. What's the other one? Yeah, Dave and Buster's. They have a place called Andretti. It's a few different types of like arcades. The malls.
To live in the country, you gotta drive like 45 minutes or an hour to a mall.
there's no shopping.
Yeah, that is true. You having to leave the country, but also I can think that's peaceful too, because then you're carrying your peace living in the country, and if you want to get out, where it's hectic, you can go there, then you can leave. Versus when you're in the city, you're stuck in the city. That's where you are. You have to deal with that.
You gotta find peace in the city, and that's kind of crazy.
Man, I definitely agree with that. Trying to find some peace, that ain't always easy. So I am from California, and there's a lot of people from we're from California. We got Wisconsin in the building. But a lot of people from California are they're coming to Texas They're transitioning here to Texas because of the market, the housing market.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper. The land, just everything is cheaper, and it's a lot different here. Even though Californians, we're raising up the prices, by coming here, but I love Texas. I love Dallas. I love the country now. Let's talk about the jobs.
It's easy to get a job in Texas. Easy. They just pay. They don't pay as much as California because I guess the pricing, but they jacking up everything here.
Oh yeah. It's definitely going to be different because of the price of living. The price of living is way different in California versus Texas. And a lot of people are selling $1 million homes and coming out here being able to buy land and buy all these things, and also enjoy the country and the city. So it's different. The salary, you're definitely going to take a pay cut depending on what your occupation is. Because now in Texas, especially Dallas, a lot of the main jobs have come here. AT&T, and there's a few other ones. So how long have you been in Texas for?
I've been in Texas for 2 years now, so it's been nice. I feel like Wisconsin is a little bit different. Like, I feel like it's more expensive here than Wisconsin, definitely, in regards to just everything pricing wise. Obviously, California is a bit different. That's more big, but Wisconsin is a little bit more country, so prices aren't as high.
Yeah. What do you think is the difference between the Texas country versus Wisconsin? You think it's pretty much the same?
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised by like how green I don't know why I didn't think it was gonna be this many trees out here, but it actually it's very similar. I think so. I just think the only thing is that it's hotter, so it's greener a lot longer, and it doesn't, there's no snow and all of those things. So it's just taking that into account that things just look a little bit different. The fall isn't the same, temperature wise, but it still has like the spring, the flowers blooming. Like, it looks similar.
Wow. What about bonfires? You ever been to a bonfire?
Yeah, we had a fire pit in our backyard.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of bonfires. Those are fun. I will say that is something fun, especially you see all the stars at night.
Oh yeah, I've been to a few bonfires and got to see that.
I like the bonfires at the beach.
At the beach? Okay, yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it does, man. Hey, tell us about your stories at bonfires. If you had like your own bonfire or your friends or your family, tell us a few of your stories about that. Man, y'all want to talk about the nightlife? Is there a nightlife here in the country?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Unless you sit out on your patio, have a drink, enjoy the night breeze or something.
Like house parties, maybe like small gatherings.
Oh yeah.
People, yeah. It's nothing like you going out somewhere.
It's peaceful. It's a difference between a city. Like, this is where you get your peace. You can relax. You can rebuild yourself, rebrand yourself.
Oh, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Being able to come out here to the country and
you want to get your mind right.
Yeah.
I do feel like the city is more diverse, though. I feel like that's one of the big differences that makes a difference. You get to meet all kinds of people in the city, and that's something that is a little bit more limited in the country. Everybody know everybody. It's pretty small. It's pretty intimate. Versus you get to experience a lot of different kinds of people and cultures in the city.
Do you think there's a difference between the people in the city versus the people in the country? Because what I've noticed, when you're living in the city, people are more in survival mode, so they might be a little bit more mean. Versus people in the country, they're a lot more relaxed, so they seem a little bit more friendly because they're not so much in survival mode.
That is true. Most definitely true.
Yeah, their mindsets are different. Just thinking in a different.
It's not that much crime either.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Especially when you're living in inner city, as far as places like Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. When you're living more in the city life, it's going to be more crime. Dog eat dog world. Because of the city, the population, you're going to have gun violence, all different types of violence. Living in the city versus living in the country. The country is going to carry more peace because people are more stable here. They're not looking for.
And the gun laws are a little looser. You trespass, you come on our land, we get to shoot you without after warning you. I shouldn't say that word, huh?
We'll get Listen, everybody knows in Texas the gun laws are pretty good. We all know that. it's an open carry state, and people understand that. Don't go trespassing. Don't go trespassing. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like the crime rate is definitely different here in the country because it's more peaceful, and you don't have to worry about people firing at you. Different things like that, trying to rob you. Those things happen in the inner city. We all know those things occur. Where you're from in the country, was there any violence?
No, not really.
Yeah.
If there was, it was like heard about. It was like big breaking news. The cops were very responsive. They were very they were everywhere. So you couldn't really do anything without getting caught pretty quickly. There's always somebody calling in, like, oh, I just saw, they're very, they got nothing to do. So they're always
nosy, nosy. I can't say country people are nosy because they don't have no entertainment really. So, but to be in your business.
I also feel like there's more of an innocence too. If you grow up there, you're not exposed as much. So
right.
You don't see all of the things that you'd see.
So when you see something, you be like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can see that. What about a culture shock? Do you think it's a culture shock being in the country?
Yes.
We have to be real. In the country, you might not see a lot of African Americans, depending on where you are. Depending on where you are, do you guys think there's a culture shock being in the country?
Yes, a big difference. You have to be ready for this. You can't just jump from the city, oh, I'm finna move to the country and think everything is gonna be the same or similar. You have to get your mindset and be prepared and be ready for this. You gotta think about not just driving 5 minutes to the store or to the mall or, let's go to the bowling alley. Everything closed early in the country too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Early. So you have to prepare yourself.
That is true.
Yeah, the lights are blinking by 10.
Well, 10, everything is shut down here. So and things close. How in the city everything is open Monday through Sunday, all the time, nonstop. Not the country. A lot of stuff be closed during the week. Monday, Tuesday, the city be shut down.
Do you think that's because of there's not a nightlife? People have more of a 9 to 5 type of life. You work, you come home, versus when you're living in the city, people are ready to basically turn up.
Country people are more relaxed. They be I gotta hurry up and get out of here because I'm gonna go cut my grass. Working their garden, or they got cows to attend to animals. They have a farm or something. But
man, let's talk about a major topic that everybody seems to love to talk about. Let's talk about relationships. Is the relationships different with people from the country versus people in the inner city? I want to have a dialogue with people in the comment section about this, because I want to get your opinions on this. Do you guys think there's a difference between dating people in the country or from the country versus the inner city?
I kind of think so. I think it's easier to cheat anywhere, but especially in a city, because it's right there. You don't have to go nowhere. It's right there. And I feel like the country people, they think differently. No disrespect, country people think a little slower than city people. If you're from California, you have to think fast because everything is fast paced. So you gotta, your mind is always going. So when you go to the country, when somebody try to come with some game, you already know. You see it before they come out their mouth. No. Yeah. But it is a big difference. I think it is. I don't know.
I think because growing up in the city, you learn survival mode or survival skills. So you're able to tell when people manipulating, they're lying. You can see that some people they're just not authentic because you grew up in that type of environment versus you come to the country. People are more stable. People are not in survival mode, so they're not trying to get something out of you. Versus in the city, someone's always trying to get over on you.
And what I think is so cute, I be seeing country couples the man is holding the woman purse.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just so cute. It reminds me of the Notebook. It's so cute.
Okay. So what you think is the difference between the men in the city and the men in the country?
I think they're more it's more romance involved in it. It's a little bit more fairy tale.
There's nothing else to do, so they have to be into you in a relationship. I think it's cute.
Okay. What do y'all think? So who do y'all think is better? Listen, man, we about to have our viewers get turned up over this. Country men or city men? What do you guys prefer?
That's a good one.
Don't get in trouble now. We'll skip over that one.
Listen, let's come back.
What do you guys think is more stable for relationships? Men in the country or men in the city?
I'm gonna say the country.
Yeah, I would say more stable.
You can get a city boy and bring him to the country, but he gotta want that, you know?
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys think? We want to see it in the comments, and we're gonna respond to every comment and every opinion because we would like to know what you guys think about that. It's hot out here, you guys. So before we go over to the next episode, I have one more question. What is your favorite thing to do in the country?
Ooh, relax.
Yeah.
I love being in my garden. I have a garden now since I've been here.
Oh yeah, I love the garden.
Being in the garden.
So, I would say fishing. I like going out on the lake and just fishing.
I haven't done that yet. You have to teach me.
Yeah, it's peaceful. It's very, very relaxing. It can be a little boring, so bring people that are interested.
Okay.
One of my favorite things to do is just relaxing.
Yeah.
Just having that peace of mind. That's the difference to me. Living in the country versus the city is the peace of mind. You get a peace of mind versus in the country.
Mm-hmm. So and I have my chickens. They entertain me.
Oh yeah, the chickens. Y'all
I can't believe.
Y'all got to see the chickens. Rooster Roo. How many chickens do you got?
About 30.
30 chickens. Y'all got to see them. One of them tried to bite me. Twice.
I can't believe everybody. I can't believe you got chickens because I'm a city girl. So this is a new thing for me, and I'm in love with it. So.
That's amazing. What I want y'all to do to stay tuned for the next episode. There will be a part 2 coming, so stay tuned. Don't forget, we want you guys to put in the comment section you guys' thoughts and your opinions, and we're going to respond to each of them. Thank you for coming. Stay tuned.